Tomten. Deep in the grip of the midwinter cold, stars send a sparkling light. All are asleep on this lonely farm, deep in the winter night. The pale white moon is a wanderer, snow gleams white on pine and fir. Snow on the roofs is gleaming. All but the tomter are dreaming. Grey he stands by the low barn door, grey by the drifted snow, gazing as many winters he's gazed, up at the moon's chill glow. Then at the forest where fir and pine circle the farm in a dusky line, mulling relentlessly a riddle that has no key. Rubs his hand through his beard and hair, shakes his head and his cap. No, that question is much too deep. I cannot fathom that. Then making his mind up in a hurry, he shrugs away the annoying worry, turns at his own command, turns to the task at hand. Goes to the storehouse and tool shop doors, checking the locks of all, while the cows dream on in the cold moon's light, summer dreams in each stall. And free of harness and whip and rein, even old Bornlöf dreams again. The manger he's drowsing over brims with fragrant clover. The tomter glances at sheep and lambs, cuddled in quiet rest. The chickens are next, where the rooster roosts, high above straw-filled nests. Burrowed in straw, hearty and hale, Carrow wakens and wags his tail, as if to say, "Old friend, partners we are to the end." At last the tomter tiptoes in to see how the house folk fare. He knows full well the strong esteem they feel for his faithful care. He tiptoes into the children's beds, silently peers at their tousled heads. There is no mistaking his pleasure. These are his greatest treasure. Long generations has he watched, father to son, sleeping as babes, but where, he asks, from where have they come? Families came, families went, blossomed and aged, a lifetime spent. Then, where? That riddle again, unanswered in his brain. Slowly he turns to the barnyard loft, his fortress, his home and rest. High in the mow, in the fragrant hay, near to the swallow's nest. The nest is empty, but in the spring, when birds mid leaves and blossoms sing, she for home will be yearning, and with her mate be returning. Then she will talk of the journey tell, twittering to all who hear it, but nary a hint for the question old that stirs in the tomter's spirit. Now through cracks in the haymow wall, the moon lights tomter and hay and all, lights his beard through the chinks. The Tomten ponders and thinks. Still is the forest, and all the land, locked in this wintry year. Only the distant waterfall whispers and sighs in his ear. The Tomten listens, and half in dream, thinks that he hears time's endless stream, and wonders, where is it bound? Where is its source to be found? Deep in the grip of the midwinter cold, stars send a sparkling light. All are asleep on this lonely farm, deep in the winter night. The pale white moon is a wanderer. Snow gleams white on pine and fir. Snow on the roofs is gleaming. All but the Tomten are dreaming. Thank you for listening. That was Viktor Rydberg's Tomten. For a little bit of context, in Nordic folklore, a Tomten was a kind of local spirit, sort of like a gnome, connected to a farmstead. Rydberg's immensely popular poem, Tomten, first published in 1881, transformed the Tomten into a philosophic and fatherly guardian. Combined with the gift-giving julvetter, Christmas vetter being this Swedish word for a sort of spirit, of Rydberg's earlier story, Little Vig, and of course then with foreign influences, he then evolved into the modern jultomte, basically meaning Christmas tomte, which has become the local Nordic version of Santa Claus, of Father Christmas. So thank you very much to Ni Ann, one of my listeners that suggested this poem in a comment quite a few days ago. This little poem was written in Swedish originally, and there have been various translations into English over the years. This particular one was by Steven Michelsen, then with a couple of just little tweaks from myself. As an Englishman who's been living in Sweden for the last few years, this one felt like a perfect choice. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was great to see that yesterday's story, The Elves and the Shoemaker, has been warming some hearts. It's a really cozy story, that one. A story that was often read to me as a child. A few of you seem to have fond memories of it since childhood, as there is something particularly sweet with how both the elves and the shoemaker and the shoemaker's wife are so kind and generous and considerate, with no vested interest, seemingly, other than being kind and generous and considerate. Although, in the end, both parties benefit ever such a lot from the actions of the others. So, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure reading to you today. Do come back to see what's hiding behind door 21. And I'll read to you soon.